Are you ever just sitting in your room when your Twitter rage baiting suddenly gets interrupted?
Who the fuck is at my door?
It's the mailman. Seems to have a letter. What's this? It's a check. I have adult money for doing the labor to pay for my adult responsibilities like my whip. And with this great responsibility comes power. And with this power comes responsibility. Pretty clever. And that responsibility is to spend my money responsibly. Huh. Money well spent. I mean, we got 2 boxes here, full of action figures that I spent my money on. Now, before we get into this, I actually wanted to show you guys something. Something I found. And no, it's not more money to buy stupid shit. In fact, it's part of my old collection. Here we have a Toybiz Spider-Man figure. Now, I remember getting this guy new in packaging, but I don't remember what he was from exactly. He was re-released so many times. But yeah, I mean, I used to love this figure. They have these old ball joint hips that, you know, very classic with Toybiz, but they work. They're janky, but they work. You know, I really love this guy and the colors on him. He was always really one of my favorites. And I think that's probably why he was still sticking around. I kind of forgot I had him, but I'm sure there was a reason why I kept him. And he has articulated fingers, but only the 2 middle ones, so we can do his flipping. But I really like this figure, and I remember being really excited to get him, and spending a decent amount of money to get him, too. I think it was like $80. But, yeah, I mean, here he is, and he looks awesome. And I'm really glad that I found him and I kept him. So I think he'll be a great addition to my new collection. Now, this guy was actually, I guess what I would call my childhood Spider-Man figure. I remember getting him in the 2-pack with Vulture, which I sold the Vulture, but I kept on to the Spider-Man because I've always loved the Ultimate Spider-Man look. So this figure actually I'm going to be using for a custom soon, and I'll probably just buy another one to keep as it is, which you guys will be seeing about very soon. It just looks so good. You know, I mean, the colors and everything. One thing I didn't like about it exactly is that the butterfly joints are not existent. There are no butterfly joints. But, I mean, honestly, this figure is really nice. And I like the sculpt on the head, how the lenses are sculpted on there and everything. And I really like it in the sculpt of the overall body. It really gives a teenage Peter Parker look that they hit the nail right on the head with this one. But with that out of the way, let's get on to box number 1. Here we have a Toybiz Rhino figure. Now, I got a really good deal on this figure, along with what it came with, but I think we should cover the Rhino first, since I'm least excited for him. But that doesn't mean he's a bad figure at all. I mean, the sculpt work on this guy is really awesome, as with usually all Toybiz figures. But another thing I really like about it is the colors, and the way the paint is on the body. It's really painted awesome, and it almost looks like a rhino skin. A rhino skin? That doesn't even make fucking sense. It looks like rhino skin. But I think it's really cool. I like the shoulder pads, the head, everything about it. The only issue is that the articulation isn't the best. Now, it's going to be standing on a shelf, so I figured it's fine. I'm not going to be posing him around too much, but I wish he kind of did have more articulation, especially in the elbow joints and knee joints, because they're non-existent on this figure. However, it's not like this figure's a statue or anything. I mean, yeah, you know, the arm joints are pretty limited, and so are the legs, like I said. But, I mean, in terms of his torso, he actually has some decent motion. I mean, you know, he can kind of swivel back and forth, and he can crunch forward a little bit, too, as you can see here. And, yeah, but the fucking shoulder pad just fell off. Well, I mean, whatever. But, I mean, let's just move on. We got the head articulation. I mean, it's kind of weird. It kind of lunges forward when you do this. But, I mean, the sculpt is good. Like, you can see little rhino eyes over here and stuff. And, I mean, his face looks a little, different, but he looks fine, and it definitely passes. And here he is next to the Spider-Man figure I found earlier. And I think they look really good together, actually. Just look at them. They're having a good time, you know, in an alleyway. And the Rhino, he's just chilling. Look at that guy. I really like this figure. It's a good display piece. If you're looking for articulation, maybe you might not want to get this guy. But, I mean, if you're looking for a nice display piece, I think he's a great option. I don't know how much he goes for by himself, but I'm sure it's worth it. I mean, he looks like a pretty good figure. He feels like a pretty good figure. If you think you would like him, I would recommend picking him up. My back! Oh, my back! Now, this figure right here is basically the reason why I bought that bundle. I only got it for $40, and I think this figure is amazing. I mean, I used to have the weird one that is basically the same, but has that weird, like, thigh cut thing. I don't know how to explain it. One leg was a thigh cut, and then the other one was on a ball joint, and I was always very confused with that one. But I'm glad I got this version now. One problem with this figure in particular, the one I got, is he's very loose, as you can see. I mean, his legs are actually pretty good, but it's just like his torso and stuff. But I mean, he gets good range, I mean, as he does, because it is a superposable Spider-Man figure. And, I mean, I really like the design of the figure. I really like the sculpt of the figure. It's very Toybiz janky, you know, like I said, it has those ball joints and stuff, but also has this nice texture going throughout it, which is really out of the way, which even Hasbro would never even think of doing nowadays, which is kind of crazy. They also have these really funny butterfly joints that are very dated, but they work. It's pretty funny, though, seeing these on, like, figures, because they just look so weird. But, I mean, like I said, they do work, so that's all that really matters. And, honestly, the paint on this figure in particular is actually really good. Like, the webs and everything. Like, if you see, like, even on the butterfly joints, it's pretty well painted. And along with the rest of the figure, too. And he has that spider yacht, but, I mean, there's some mispaint on there, but it's fine. And I also don't like how the joints are visible here. Like how they're red and stuff, but that's just because of wear and tear over time. He has these articulated toes, as every Spider-Man did basically back then, and calf swivel. Double jointed knees, and yeah. I mean, this figure is really nice, and like I said, those weird ball joints, janky butt work. I think it works well for this figure. And yeah, here he is, you know. But this figure actually only has a hinge on the hand for all four fingers. You can't even do the whipping hands with this one in particular. But like the other Toy Biz Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure this guy was released so many times. And this is probably just another version. But this head sculpt I also like too. I mean, if you look, the eyes and everything, they're white, but that's how all the Toy Biz Spider-Man figures were. They were never silver like in the movie, but that's fine. I really like it. Kind of adds like some character to it. I mean, it's really nice, and I really do like it. It's a little bit of work. Honestly, you can get it into a good pose, and it's not that big of a deal. Plus, like I said, it's a really old figure. You know, it's from 2004, so it's, you know, over 20 years old. So, you know, I can forgive it. But yeah, you know, great figure, and the poses, everything looks great on camera. The webbing is also really well painted for being this old. And yeah, I mean, here he is, Tobey Maguire. Pretty cool. And with that, I guess we should probably get to the next box. And final box. Box number 2.
What's wrong?
Cassidy is gone. Now there's only Camshat. Give me your ass.
Here we have the Fearsome Foes Toy Biz Carnage action figure. Now, something about this figure that really drew me to it was it looks really unique. And I actually had the Hasbro release of this figure, but it broke. And I was very upset. It broke as soon as I got it. But it's okay, because this figure looks more sturdy, or feels more sturdy, I should say, than the Hasbro release. I really like the sculpt work on it. All the black indents are all sculpted individually. And he has articulated fingers, but except these 3 move together, and then this one moves by itself, along with the thumb, which is pretty nice. So you can definitely do some cool things with it, you know, but yeah. And these figures' joints are pretty tight, at least in the arms and everything. But getting him to stay up can be kind of a pain because he likes to flop. He's a little loose, but yeah, you know, he's pretty good for being this old as well. I mean, the arms are nice and tight, and so are the legs. It's just the torso might be a little loose, but it's fine. The sculpt works really good on him, and I like the paint job a lot. This red plastic with the black indents works really well for Carnage. He can't look up that far, but that's fine. And he has his, classic Toybiz toe articulation. It's a little tough to move. It's actually kind of tight, but it's fine. He has a calf swivel, double jointed knees, just like the Spider-Man. And honestly, I really like this figure. And the hands are a little big. Like, I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's fitting. It is a symbiote, but, I mean, the hands look huge. Like, really big. Like, he can, it's bigger than his head. But yeah, like I said, you got the indents and everything look really nice. He's kind of flat, but it's okay. I can forgive him. But the articulation is really good. Like, look at that bend on the arm from these double jointed arms. And it's crazy. I feel like Toybiz is kind of excelled in terms of what Hasbro's done recently, which is kind of crazy when this figure is, again, like over 20 years old. He also comes with this base, and, it's shiny. It's like a sticker, but it's really nice. I like the art they use here. I don't know exactly what artist this is from, but I do really like it. It almost looks like Toxin, because there's no black around the mouth, but I know that is how Carnage was drawn for a while, so I'm not going to hold it against him. But yeah, I mean, this figure is really awesome. I would recommend you getting this figure, as long as every other figure I've reviewed so far. These are all bangers. And like I said, I used to have this figure, so I'm really happy I got to bring this back to my collection. Here he is getting his ass whipped by Spider-Man I found earlier.
Flip your web on me, big boy.
Here is the Fearsome Foes Lizard. Now, you might be noticing a trend. We had the Fearsome Foes Carnage, and this is the Fearsome Foes Lizard. Now, I was drawn to this figure because the tail, it has a wire in it, which is really awesome. So it has pretty good articulation without breaking up the sculpt. It has a swivel, which is nice. He has this, rubber jacket, but it looks fine. And obviously, it doesn't really even hinder much of the articulation. It's a little, hard to move, but that's just because it's so old. The sculpt, though, is awesome. His mouth can, is on a hinge, so it can close and open. And I really like that about this figure. Yeah. I like the colors, the darker colors of, the pants and, all the different, the black wash, I guess I would say, on him. It's really nice, and this is definitely my favorite Lizard figure I've had, which I've only ever had in one other one, which was the Diamond Select one, but this one definitely takes the cake. And I also really like the hands. I mean, again, with these articulated fingers, Toybiz was always doing something really cool with these, and I'm really glad that it was a main thing on these, and I really do enjoy the Toybiz figures because of that. Also, like I said, the sculpt on this guy, you have one knee that's exposed and the other one's covered, two different textures, but it looks so good and flows so well together. I was really surprised, again, for this being a 20-plus year old figure. These toe articulations and everything. It's just I love Toybiz figures, and he can do the full splits and everything. In terms of other articulation, he cannot move at the abdomen, but his head rotation goes all the way around, which is kind of funny. Look at that guy. He's just having a good time. He's just hanging out. For everything he has, I guess, he's not too limited, which is really nice. I don't mind him not having an ab crunch, because that's fine. His posture is always going to be kind of the same anyway. And just like the Carnage, he comes with this stand, which I like the art on this one as well. I kind of wish Hasbro would do something like this. I feel like these stands were something so of its time, and I would love to see it happen more with modern figures. But that's another plus I have to give to Toybiz. They're always doing something awesome with these figures, and yeah, they might have re-released some, but there was always some kind of I guess, value to buy them again, because they would always include cool stuff like this, unlike stuff today. And like I said, he poses really well. Here he is with the Spider-Man I found earlier, and they look really good together. I like these old Toybiz figures, even how this isn't the Fearsome Foe Spider-Man, they still flow really well together. Here is another pose I put him in, and like I said, He's really fun to pose around, and I would definitely recommend this figure, even over some of the Hasbro ones. But it's up to you. It's up to preference. Personally, I like my lizards looking a little more monstrous, but this still definitely gets the job done, and I would definitely recommend it.
Hey guys, get the fuck out of the way! I can't see!
Articulated finger!
I am very happy with these articulated fingers. Look at this guy. He does not give a fuck. He has every finger is posable on this guy. This is definitely the best Toybiz Spider-Man ever to be put out. Now, this uses the same exact sculpt as the McFarlane Spider-Man, which I could get, but I really don't feel like buying him. He has these web wings that are really nice, but they look like they're gonna rip any minute, and I might just cut them off because, yep, here we go, okay, so they kind of just loop off like this, I guess. You can just kind of pull it off, the arms and stuff, but yeah, if I could just get this off, maybe not, oh, here we are, okay, just gotta get this arm, and it should be off, so we can get a better look at this figure. Alright, so Toybiz said fuck you. Now I'm pulling on his spider pubes here, because apparently it's looped up his ass and in his crotch, so I can't get it out. It's kind of pissing me off, so I might... yeah, I don't think I can get this out. It's like knotted in there. It's very annoying. Very annoying. I might have to find an alternative solution to this. At least with these articulated fingers, he can point at his spider pubes and show you how fucking bullshit this is. Much better. Free as a bird. Now we can get a good look at this figure. I really like this head sculpt and the overall etched webbing all over the suit. And I think this head is really awesome. I like the eyes. They're really nice. The black is well colored, and there's no leaking into the lenses, which I really appreciate. Double jointed elbows are always really appreciated, especially in these figures, these older figures. You know, he has the swivel. He has butterfly joints, and they work really well as well. They're a little tough and awkward, but you can see that they're there, and they work fine. They work fine enough. They just kind of pop a little bit, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm taking him off the stand here so we can get a better look. His legs go up really high. They go up really high, and obviously we're gonna have the double jointed knees and the toe articulation, which is nice as always. I feel like I keep saying it like that is nice as always. I feel like I'm just keep saying that. Whatever. We have his, he has a little arm swivel, and here we are, the beautiful full finger articulation. I could not be more happy with this figure, honestly. Here he is with his ab crunch, which is really good. He has really good ab crunch, and his legs go up really high, which is nice. Very articulated, very awesome. The sculpt is amazing. The paint could be better. Like, if you see, like, on the chest over here, it's kind of whatever. Some lines are not, like, painted, while some are. And the black kind of just leaks all over the red, but that's just kind of Toybiz's style, and honestly, I'm not mad. But yeah, in terms of posing, here he is in like a little action stance. I really like this figure, and I like the stance I can get him in. And here are all the Fearsome Foes figures together, or as I like to call them, Spider-Man's Fearsome Hoes. Look at these guys. Oh yeah, well, here they all are. They look great together, and I'm really glad to have these guys in my collection. And that's gonna do it for this video. Please like and subscribe and share. Comment what other figures should I get in my collection. I have a whole bunch of figures I have to review that I bought, including some Mayfix figures that were requested, and some CT. Let me know down below, who was your favorite figure I got in this eBay haul? And like always, like I said, like, subscribe, and go follow my Instagram at CollectorsCorner07. And with that, Spider Pimp out.